Be sensitive at everybody's time. So, you know what, thanks for being here. I'm sure we'll have a few trickle in, people on realtor time. Anyway, I am so thrilled that Dylan has agreed to come up and teach this class with us. He's been traveling, I'll let him tell you where he's been, all over the place teaching it, and I'm so excited for him to bring it to us, so I feel very privileged for all of us. So.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dylan. I'll let you tell them about yourself.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want front lights off.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just so they can kind of see the thing, and then if you don't mind, okay, this is recording good, so I'm gonna minimize that there. There we go. All right, guys, how is everybody today? Good. Good. How's the market right now? Up here? Weird? No. Weird? That's how it is at home.
It is weird.
We're actually seeing for our market center, this is kind of weird. I don't know if, like you said, weird. You see this sometimes, I guess, in a shift though, is we actually are having our highest transaction count and company dollar, what we call it company dollar count we've ever had. But we actually have the lowest units closed per agent that we've ever had. And all of our top agents and all of our new agents, we're having our highest PC percentage ever too right now. All of our top agents and all of our new agents are doing like all the business. So the people who've always given the value and the people who don't know a different market, but our middle is by far the lowest it's ever been as far as units per agent there. So what we're seeing is the agents who do the work win right now. Our top 10 agents, I had them all in a room the other day, took them all out to dinner, and 9 of them were like, we're ahead of our goals. And then when I talk to agents in the middle, they're like, why am I even doing this? And so I think in our market, of course, every market's different. I think it really proves that the agents that are doing the work right now are the agents that are winning. And I think it would put our head down and grind. I always have heard during a shift, people are going to take market share and never give it back. And there are going to be agents that lose market share and never get it back. So
Dylan, I'd be curious, is that middle, were those individuals that entered the market during COVID?
100%, yes. And so they've never known a market where you can't just go put a sign in Cousin Joe's yard and not even have to take pictures and get $35,000 over asking price. So they don't know another market. So, but and now they're frustrated that they're actually, having to grind and do the work. And then you're seeing like new agents. I have new agents that are just crushing it right now because this tough market, they don't know it's a tough market. This is the only market they've ever known. So it's really, really, really good. All right. So I just like, I'm an interactive teacher. I'll probably ask some questions today. My name is Dylan Ballard, and today I want to help you guys learn how to become the local expert in your area. And the way that I have seen people do this and the way that I personally have done it is through owning your personal brand in your zip code. I'm going to start off by giving you an example, even before I tell you who I am. Right now, I saw this video on Instagram the other day. You guys might have seen it. The lady ended up getting, I think, around 1 million views. Man, that's great, right? What she did was, anybody seen it? And if you've made this video, don't hate me at the beginning. We're getting somewhere. She made this video. Today, I truly don't mean to, I'm just trying to be informative. I'm excited to get to know you guys. She makes this video where she's fully clothed and she walks directly into the swimming pool. Well, that's great. I had an agent do that the other day in one of their listing videos. Like, this pool's so great, I'll jump in with my clothes on, kind of thing. Like, and it was great. But this agent, I think she was in California, walks into the swimming pool, fully clothed, and above her head said POV, your client brings their dad to the home inspection and it ruins the deal. Yeah, right? Yeah, 1 million views. And she was excited, right, that she got 1 million views. Let's put ourselves in her shoes, though. What if I'm in her sphere, maybe go to her church, maybe go to the happy hour that she goes to, whatever your thing is, and you're a young girl freshly out of college and you just got out of nursing school and you want to buy a house, not married. You probably feel like you need to bring your dad to the home inspection to make sure you're buying a nice house for that sense of comfort. If I'm that young lady, I promise I would never use that realtor Because they don't, they told me that they're basically, that I'm transactional to them. And since my dad coming with me to a home inspection killed the deal for them, that they don't want my business. Yes, the million views seem nice. But honestly, she was speaking to the wrong audience, because she probably actually just made a video that, and I know it's a hypothetical, but she might have just made a video that actually turned away buyers. If you look at it. But what did she get? She probably got a lot of laughs and a lot of pats on the back from realtors. And the algorithm found her, and they probably were not even realtors in her area. She's in California, and I just heard 3 of you say that you've seen it. You seeing her video in this room did nothing for her, except for make her feel good that she got a lot of views. So what I have learned, and I say that to say this, to even start out, what I have learned is we have to own our zip code. If we're going to do social media, we have to figure out, how are we reaching the people that we can actually buy and sell to? Unless you're an agent that's been in this a long time, you do tons and tons of referrals, or maybe you moved from a different area. I know there's outliers. But if you're in this room, you probably want to sell real estate in Columbus. I would assume, right? Nobody in here saying, hey, I strictly run a referral business. My grandkids are here and I just refer every single thing out that I get a call. That's not anybody in here, I would assume. So today we're going to learn how to own our zip code. How are you reaching the right people in the right place? And that's today what we're going to talk about. I've been blessed to be able to build a social media platform that we've been very successful on my personal pages. We've been very successful on our real estate brokerage pages. I've been a team leader for 2.5 years. We have been very, very, very blessed to attract a lot of talent, and about 85 to 90% of that have been relationships I've personally grown through social media. First of all, though, I want to tell you who I am. And if this doesn't connect with you, that's completely fine. I just always like to tell people who I am. Can you see that mouse? There it is. Oh, first of all, and like I said, if this doesn't connect with you, I just always say who I am. First of all, I'm a disciple of Christ. Then I'm a father and a husband. And then all the things that 90% of the people in the world know about, that know about me, then those things. I say this to say this, and then I'm not here to spew my religious beliefs on anybody. I say that just to say this. Whatever you are in life, I personally believe, even though we are going to talk about how do we connect on social media, the things that I am, I'm a team leader, assistant pastor. I actually am a sports media member. I own a couple side businesses, and then a marketing and branding consultant. I'm just saying all this to say this. I feel like in life, if you are defined about the things that are at the bottom of this, those things will eventually leave you empty no matter what you believe in. I'm not here to put my beliefs on you. I'm just saying, make sure to get your priorities straight, and then this stuff will fall in line. And I just always put that in there just as a nice reminder. Identify you before you identify the business. All right, let's have an honest moment to start the class today. Who in here, their page looks like this, their Instagram, or their Facebook, or their TikTok, whatever? Anybody's in here look like this? Your last 3 or 4 posts just sold, open house, just sold. Anybody at all? It's okay. That's okay, correct? So what we do when we do this right here is, and I'm not saying these posts are entirely bad. I'm just saying it's really not positioning ourselves to become the expert in our area when this is the same thing over and over again. What this makes our social media look like then is a billboard. And Gary Keller said right now billboards are at their lowest return that they've ever been. Not saying they're awful, I'm just saying the recognition top of mind is probably a good thing. If you can afford it, have it in your budget, that's all on you. But it turns our social media into a billboard. And if you go look at a lot of these posts, I say this in love. I went and looked at it just sold this morning before I walked in here. There were 5 likes on this social media post. The agent's mom, me, the people who bought it, my wife, and their aunt. Those were the 5 people. There were 2 comments. One was the person who bought it and said, "Oh, I loved working with you." The other one was their aunt saying, "Can you make this public so I can share?" You've all seen it, correct? We all know that post. But right now, if that's all you post, and then like every now and again, maybe you'll just throw a picture of your family up that has no context, you're probably not positioning yourself or using any strategy to reach new clients. It strictly has become just a posting board, and it's the same thing over and over again, and it's not really connecting with anybody. Well, here's the problem. That's not really a marketing problem. What that is a selling only problem. All you're doing is constantly selling. So here's today. I want to give you a perspective. I actually was I'm really honored to be selected this year for the Team Leader Council for KWRI. KWRI is the Keller Williams International Headquarters there in Austin. And they picked 8 team leaders to be a council and a sounding board. And they brought us I'm on the marketing committee, almost like an ALC. They picked 3 of us to run the marketing department of how can we help learn marketing for team leaders. And I'm on that council, and I was meeting with Jason and Chris, the new CEO of Keller Williams, and they brought us some research, and they gave us an example. How many of you guys, you've probably seen them for years now, 20, 30 years. Lowe's just does a ton of commercials, right? Lowe's does a ton of commercials. Well, this year, Lowe's has decided, and this is the information that KWR brought us, and I thought was really cool. Lowe's has actually decided that 30% of their budget, they're actually scaling back from billboard, local endorsements like commercials. And so that 30% of that finances, what they're going to do is they're actually going to position that to influencers. I'll give you an example. I'm going to be honest, guys. I have been doing the social media game for 6 years, and I got the other day by Lowe's. I've been watching this guy on social media. What he's been doing is part by part building a boat. His idea was, I'm going to build a boat from scratch with lumber, and I'm going to make sure it can float. I'm going to fish out of a boat I built from scratch. Well, I'm like 4 parts in, and I'm just sucked in. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing this thing. He's doing this thing. He's doing great. Well, on part 5, about 30 seconds into the video, and he says, hey, guys, I know we're on part 5, and I haven't told you yet. And a lot of people have been asking, and I went back and looked. Not really anybody had been asking in the comments. But he was like, some of y'all been wanting to know what tools I use. And he said, I use Cobalt from Lowe's. It's a great tool. It's actually affordable. When I went on this journey, I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on tools. They had the 5-in-1 set over at Lowe's, and I just picked it up for $199, spent $99 more on a battery, and that's really the only investment outside of lumber I have in this building this boat. And he talked about one specific miter saw. Well, I got to needing a miter saw, and I was like, I learned that miter saw, he had said the other day, was only $99. I think I'm gonna run over to Lowe's and get one of those, because me and my wife just bought a 40-acre farm, and I was fixing some stuff in the barn. And I had everything except for a miter saw. Well, I went and bought that. And then 2 weeks later, I found myself in Austin in this meeting with Gary and Jason, and they were talking about this thing. And I said, oh my gosh, I got by Lowe's. But what I'm saying that to say this is, was I more likely to drive by 15 billboards or Lowe's ads that just said shop at Lowe's, or the person that I like, know, and trusted because he had something of the same interest of me, told me to purchase something? And that person had never sold to me before. But what he had done is he had built validity with me, and I trusted whatever he said. And I caught myself. And I had somebody the other day said, you know, I'm not even 30 yet. And I had somebody the other day ask me, but how often do you buy stuff off email? And I was like, I don't think I've ever bought something off an email. And she was like, what? I all the time get a coupon, buy it, go directly there. And I was like, I didn't know people did that. I thought everybody just deleted it. Like I said that, but then I realized that the type of marketing that works for me is this influencer that I had learned to trust, then sold me without even realizing. Lowe's gave him that set to say that. Then they probably paid him a couple $1,000 to say that, and then it made the whole journey and they probably gave him his lumber for free. But then when I needed the saw, I went to Lowe's and trusted Cobalt. When before I just thought Cobalt low income. Well, he built this whole boat. I can fix one barn door. But would he have got that if he would have just been on a Canva graphic saying, come buy this miter saw? Probably not, correct? So probably not. Also, I did forget to mention a second ago, if anybody wants the slides today, you can message me on Instagram. Also, if you don't have Instagram, I'm giving my phone number at the end. But you can follow me right here and just DM me your email, and I'll send you all today's slides in my personal notes for the class. I forgot to mention that a second ago. I never forget that. I don't know why I did. Guess I'm just excited to be at Greater Columbus today. But right there it is. Give you just a second there in case anybody needs to grab a picture, wants to just DM me and DM me your email. I'll send you the slides. See a couple people taking pictures. I'll wait. But I honestly, like I said, the other day I realized that person had got me without me realizing. And of course, I'll be honest though, I then used the miter saw and really liked it and thought it was worth the money. Like, so I was good with it, right? Okay, here's the thing. Reach times results equals reputation. Here's the problem, guys. We all have the results. Even if you're new to the industry and you don't have the results, you're in an office that has a ton of sales, you're getting a ton of training. Perception is reality on social media. Anybody ever, daily, you probably see this. You see this agent crushing it on social media, and you're like, they're crushing it. And you go look up their numbers and they sold like 2 houses. But perception is reality because it's the way that they're positioning it. So even if you don't have results, which I would assume most room do, your office has results. It's a proven office. You're a proven company. You can position it to where you look like you have results, even if you don't. But the problem is none of us are reaching people, or most of us are not reaching people. And this is the missing piece. So today we're going to talk about how do we fix that. And today we're going to talk about how do we fix that. We have great results, no reach. You already have the results. The reach is what the missing part is. So today you wear 2 hats has anybody seen that TikTok? I do love this one, or the reel where the person's like dancing. It's like, I didn't know in 2026 to be a realtor, you also had to be, an influencer as well. Like, we all get it. But unfortunately, you do wear 2 hats. And those hats are the creator. You have to make the content. You are the face, you are the voice, you are the feet. Not every single day, but every day you are the walking brand. I read a study the other day that people are 72% likely, or more likely, to buy something from a personal influencer or a personal account than they are a corporate or a team account. Think about it like this. We sometimes get in our real estate bubble, right? And we're like, oh, I was looking at what this team posted, and that team posted, and this team posted. But just let's think. When was the last time you went to Wendy's or Chick-fil-A and was like, man, I wonder what Chick-fil-A is posting on social media today? You haven't. But maybe your friend at your church's son gets a job there, and they post about it, and then you go say, I'll go visit them next time I'm passing by, whatever it may be. You connect with people, not corporate brands in today's time, because we've all been fed so much junk on social media that we have to connect with the human nature in some capacity. And Instagram CEO and Facebook CEO and TikTok CEO all have said their goal is actually, we don't have our tinfoil hats here, and I actually don't like it either, but their goal is for you to be interactive on social media. So what they're prioritizing right now are people that are authentic. Anybody seen the Yak Challenge? I'll tell you about that at the end. But what they're prioritizing is authentic. People are tired of being fed whatever it may be, not just from our industry, but whatever. But they want authentic, and they want to be able to connect with you. They want to be able to connect with you as a person. So today I'm trying to teach you how to be the expert. But being the creator earns you this: being the local expert. Being the local expert, the position that the position all creating earns you in the community. So listen, we want to be positioned as the local expert. What do we want to be? We want to be, when somebody thinks real estate, how do they think of me? I'll be honest, I have 2 or 3 guys in my office that are they crush it on calls, right? We can't say the C word anymore. So the TCPA compliant calls, they really do well with those. FSBOs, expireds, But what they told me is, and I've seen this around the country being on the team leader council, people who crush it with calls have told me most people nowadays, they see when they call a FISBO, they call an expired, what they see is immediately when they get off the phone, that person is now going to their social media to see how well they market listings. Even if that's not their main lead gen source, they're seeing that a lot of people are going there to check for validity of what they just got sold on the phone. So it's almost when Dale can probably mention this, every single person that I meet with that's a real estate agent, I'm like, all right, give me your 3 lead gen buckets. And they really don't have 3, so they just tell you, they'll say, maybe they're a caller, maybe it's their sphere. And then they all say social media. And I'll go look at their social media and it's got like 37 followers and they posted the same thing 100 times. And like last 6 haven't even been liked. And I'm like, all right, you told me it's not social media. You may want it to be social media, but it's really not generating anything. And that's fine. Some people, if it's not your top 3, that's actually okay. I'm not here to say social media is the end all be all, but this is the play that I run to try to win on what's happening right now. So today we want to become the local expert. When people think real estate, people think of you. The average real estate, they're saying the average person right now knows 7 realtors. How many of you all have had a cousin, an aunt, a sister, a friend, a family member that you got frustrated because when they went and bought or sold, they did not use you? Honest cat. Only one in here. This kid right here. This guy right here. All of us. I had a cousin the other day that joined a different real estate brokerage when she got her license. I was like, what the heck? You went through my free school. Well, they told me that this cap and this. I was like, why are you even worried about capping? You never sold a real piece of real estate yet. They sold you on a bill of goods. Like they don't even have a CRM over there. But right. Well, then I got to thinking, whose fault was that? Was that my cousin's or was that mine? That was my fault, right? And so what are you doing now when that person sees you, those kind of things? All right, what does it mean to actually be the local expert? What does that mean? I don't want it to just be a line that you can claim in your bio or a position in that your community decides to hand you. What this means is the names that come to mind when a place and a person. It's earned by showing up constantly and knowing the most, not by knowing the most. Let me ask you guys this. What's the 2 reasons that real estate agents don't win on social media?
It seems salesy.
100%.
Or they don't do it.
Consistency. We're seeing 2 things. Consistency, like he said, and being just salesy all the time. Then there's a 3rd one actually that I think I said 2, but there's really 3. Is most of them quit the consistency aspect. It really goes in the first one because of what reason? They don't know what to post. How many of you guys, you're probably like me, there's creative juices. The creative juices it takes to sit there and think of things is just frustrating, right? It's frustrating. So what does it take to become the local expert? And here's what I'm going to tell you. It's all about being the name and a place and a person. Like when I think real estate in Columbus, I think of this person. How do we become that for that person? It's earned by constantly showing up, not by being the best. I'm going to try something really quick that I told him I wasn't going to bother him, but I want to do this anyways. I usually do this at the start of my class. The number 5 agent in my office has closed 56 deals in the last 12 months. He's been in the business 14 months, and since January, he's done 44 deals. He is crushing it. Let's see if he answers.
What's up, Dylan?
Hey, I'm in front of a bunch of realtors in Columbus, and you're on speaker.
Okay.
How many deals have you done in the last 14 months since you got into business?
56.
How many have you done in the last 12 months?
42.
Or
12
sorry,
months, let's see.
no, not 12 months. I meant to say, like, what about since January?
Yeah, this year 42.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how professional do you think you've been on social media?
Professional, I would say like 2.
A 2. All right, 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna let you go. I know you gotta go sell real estate. On a scale of 1 to 10, how consistent have you been?
10.
How
Almost
often?
every day.
Yeah, you post every single day. Sometimes you'll post like 3 times a day. And then the last one is how authentic have you been?
Yeah. For my business.
What percentage of your business do you think came from people who connect with you on social media?
For me, I think 85 to 90% probably come from social media.
All right, thanks, Dustin. And so what I used to record him doing a video of that, and then and show it in my class, but I was like, ah, man, it takes a long to watch him talk about me asking questions. So today I just thought I'd call him. If you go look at Dustin's social media, I mean, it is a selfie of him and his kids. It is him he's ordered one of those like clips that hooks to your air conditioner. And he's just like going live while he's driving down the road. Like he's got a listing video and he's like, y'all, I got this listing video over here. I mean, he sounds like, what you think I have an accent, like amplify it by like 12. He'll like be doing a flip listing and be like, y'all, there's a bunch of trash over here. But if you rent a dumpster, probably wouldn't take that much time to get this trash out of here. I'd probably buy this house if I was y'all. There's $30,000, $40,000 to be made here. He is just super authentic, and the way that people have connected with him is amazing. He was working a job, got fired, said he was going to go get his real estate license, and look at his life. 12 months, 14 months, whatever you want to say from that. 42 closed transactions as an individual agent since January. He just told y'all 85 to 90% of his business has come from social media. And guys, he still does a little bit of that under contract, just sold, just listing. But let me give you a positioning of the way his just sold looks versus somebody else. And you don't have to run this play, I'm just telling you. Just sold 123 Main Street. Congratulations to my sellers. I've seen that post maybe 878,000 times in my time at Keller Williams in 2.5 years. Here's Dustin's picture of him and Jim Bob. That's a real name, somebody that I helped recently.
All one name.
Yeah, one name, Jim Bob. And then I don't even know, he didn't even have a last name on his license. But Dustin and Jim Bob take a picture at the closing. Hey, we just were able to close out 123 Main Street. I thought 5 or 6 times this thing was going to fall through, but we fought through to the end and made sure it happened. Why? Because Jim Bob is the first time he can ever really remember in his family that somebody purchased a home and didn't rent one. This is why I do what I do, because now we have shifted a generational mindset that home ownership is possible. And despite it being a tough as nails fight till the end, we found a way to make this happen. And now generations to come will know in Jim Bob's family that this is possible. That's the same post, but different positioning. And with
story.
It tells the story. And Dustin is not the hero in that story. He's just the guide. I was able to help him keep a deal together. I was able to help him find a home big enough for his family with a garage so that he could work on his dirt bike. I was able to, and guys, honestly, you just heard me tell that story in like 4 seconds. And it was just a picture. Ultimately, what I'm saying today is we're going to talk about what it means to be the local expert, but how are you connecting in an authentic way to the people you attract? I was in a class the other day and I asked Dustin, that's why I told the story. I said, Dustin, who are you helping? I'm helping people in Eastern Kentucky that don't think home ownership is possible. That's who Dustin's helping. When I teach this class, she said I travel a lot. I've taught it like now 7 times. I was in Minnesota last week. I was at a different Columbus office yesterday. I'm in Miamisburg tomorrow. I was in Knoxville, Tennessee 2 weeks ago. I taught it in Austin at one of the big market centers down by KWGCR a couple months ago. And I'll be honest, when I ask people who do you serve, people looking to buy and sell in the greater Columbus area would be the answer that I get most often. Like not, you need to give them the same wherever I'm at. How many agents are in your board?
9,000.
I would assume the other 8,999 could answer that question the same exact way. Do you get what I'm saying? When you find a way to niche down in a geography and a specific person, you are way more likely to attract them. But what do we get scared of? We get scared of the fact that we cannot catch them all. But sometimes we pull that net, think fishing, like old school fishing. We pull that net so far apart, the fish are just slipping right through the holes of the net because we've made it just way too broad. I had somebody ask me yesterday, I think it's the area called Circleville. She said, well, what if I posted about a video of me at a restaurant in Circleville and then people aren't going to think that I serve this area? I said, ma'am, I love you. But sometimes we get caught up in our own bubble. People could not care less what you're posting when you're posting. What they care about is when it comes on their screen, is it what they want to watch. So I said, let me ask you this. If you say, let's say you're doing a market update and say, hey, I'm in Circleville, home sales are up 6.3%, and we're seeing it's a lot of first-time home buyers. If you don't think home ownership is achievable in Circleville, it might be. All it is one simple phone call to me. I said, now, do you think that somebody in downtown Columbus is going to watch that video and say, oh my Lord, I really wanted to use her as an agent, but she just said she's never going to help anybody in downtown Columbus? No. They're probably going to see that video and say, she genuinely cares about her clients, and I think I might give her a call. Her niching down didn't mean that she missed anyone. It just means she's more likely to pick up those people in Circleville than the person that says, I help in anywhere in the state of Ohio. And anybody that wants to buy and sell. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to say I'm never going to help somebody, or you can't use the term the greater Columbus area. I have built an entire brand off of central Kentucky. That's 7 cities. But what I'm not saying is I can help anybody buy or sell. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't sell real estate, but I'm saying the people I'm trying to reach. I'm not saying, but I am saying real estate agents, like recently I did a video. If you're a real estate agent that is in central Kentucky and you sell more than $8 million a year, I've got some tips for you that nobody's talking about. If you're one of those people, you're now watching my video. But now this guy right here has been in the business 2 weeks. He's not going to watch that video and go, gosh, that guy only helps those people. He's probably going to watch the video and say, someday when I am above 8 million, I want to know these 5 things he's about to teach him. Me niching down actually didn't eliminate anybody. It's just the audience I was trying to reach. I actually pulled them in closer. I'll be honest, and I understand and I teach and study the terminology of hooks. I would probably reach, if Dayla did a video today and said, I've recruited over 1,000 agents to Keller Williams in my time, and here's the one constant they all have. I'm probably going to watch that video as a team leader. But if she says, I got a tip for team leaders, I love her, but I'm probably just going to scroll right past it. Because I've heard 1,000 tips from team leaders over the years. And most of them are out of the business in 12 months anyways. So what I'm saying is, or what about this? Team leader down in Knoxville. If you're in a city under 500,000 and you want to grow your brokerage to over 200 agents, let me give you this tip. I'm watching that video 10 times out of 10 because in Lexington, Kentucky, we don't have 500,000 people. We actually have less. In my town, we have less than that. And I'm trying to get to 200 agents, right? I'm going to watch that video every single time because he came and found me where I'm at. Does anybody in here have a specific niche audience that you try to reach? Yesterday, somebody said in their class they were helping single women because a lot of single women don't think it's achievable to have a home without, second income. One of them told me they were speaking to a specific community of type of people. Anybody in here have a specific audience?
First-time home buyers.
Okay, I love that. But what can you do for first-time home buyers that he can, just generality? See, that's where I would look for, and I'm not saying to call you out, you've been very interactive and I appreciate that. So like, I would try to even niche that down a little more, maybe like Dustin says he's doing it for people who don't think home ownership is achievable. I'm not saying that has to be yours. Your clientele actually may think it is, but maybe is it an age group? Is it I'm just saying, you don't have to only speak to that, but in some videos on social media, I may would get a little more, because they've honestly, we've all used that so much, first time home buyers have been spoke to 10 million times. So how can you even hone that in even more? Like he said, people in Eastern Kentucky who do not think homeownership is achievable, he's getting people pre-approved and sold to, I never thought was possible. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I would even try to maybe even find a way. Yes, you're gonna help any first time home buyer, but really speak to even a more specific audience.
I also have a question.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't mind.
Yeah, I'm always open for questions.
So like, in that sense, is it better to create the entire brand around that, like my whole account, or is it?
I would use that terminology very, very often.
Right.
And maybe even put it in my bio somewhere, helping buy and sell real estate in Greater Columbus. And like, be funny about it. I also really love helping first time home buyers from the age of 24 to 30, like maybe throw that in as a tag. I'm selling everywhere, but I'm really selling to that age group. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I bet you're the only person that's gonna say that, helping people achieve home ownership before they're 30.
Yeah.
You're the only person, I'm not saying that's your gimmick, I'm just saying like, I'm just trying to connect with you, like, that would, maybe that's gonna speak to somebody. Because if I hear one more time from people in my office, I'll go, average homeowners under 40, it's never possible. For me, I'm like, okay, quit being average, like. Like if you want an excuse in life, I've got a box full of them I can give you. I'm not trying to be rude, but like, that's kind of my motto. That's probably not a good one, but like. When I was 24, I had $3 in my account. Now me and my wife own 10 rental properties, a farm, and 5 businesses, and nobody ever gave me $1. Like it's okay, like just because national average is 40 for home ownership, like let's find a way around it. Let's be the outlier. We don't have, you know what I'm saying? So like maybe that market's not been spoken to because they're just reading the headlines. Do you get, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you build your whole brand around it, but I do think you can reach a certain people that maybe this other person just says first time home buyer is not reaching.
I guess, yeah, that's kind of my question is like. Okay, let's say I have like a couple of VA people I want to reach to specifically. Is it just the content I'm getting really niched down into, or is it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about in a second, hashtags like don't really work anymore. Cause AI actually can read the content you're saying and it can actually read the caption, so the verbiage you use matters. I just use that verbiage. Also, don't get caught up in the real estate verbiage. You may have to explain what VA is, you may have to, you know what I'm saying, but like, we're gonna get into the type of content, but yes, ma'am.
Okay, back to the hashtag. So on Instagram, do you mean solely Instagram? Hashtags don't matter? Because what about TikTok? Because
TikTok, they do matter.
Okay.
I'm not a big TikToker, but I'll get into that in a second. I kind of have a little breakdown in the slideshow, but we'll get into that. Instagram and Facebook though, Zuckerberg's main guy and Morcelli, however you say his name, the Instagram CEO, and he said that in 5 years they'll be gone.
Yeah.
What will be gone?
Hashtags. Because like he says right now on Instagram, you can still use them, but it's really for the user's comfort. It's not really doing anything. Back 10 years ago, you had to use a hashtag to get it to go to people in Richmond, Kentucky. Now, people who they listen to our phones, you talk about being in Richmond, Kentucky, it's just gonna put like that stuff in your algorithm, right? Like Instagram's actually my least followed account. I actually do much better on X and on Facebook. And but there's also funny and then still a little bit of human nature to it. I want you to follow me on Instagram because it's my favorite, but it's actually my least followed platform. Like I've got 20,000 followers on Facebook and we average over 3 million views a month on my personal Facebook page, but I've never once told anybody to go follow me on Facebook. We have this human nature, and that's why they still do hashtags, because people like using them. It makes them feel comfortable. But like AI can now just send it to people without them knowing it. Yeah.
Do you think it's the age group that follows you on adds you on Facebook versus follows you on Instagram?
Yeah, so I have a huge following of Kentucky fans. And here's this, I know I'm in Buckeye land. And you guys have a phenomenal football program, but I am blessed to be in the area of the greatest tradition in the history of college basketball. And that's something we take pride on. Coming out of college, I thought I wanted to do TV. And my first job in TV, I realized that making $40,000 a year to just be able to say I'm on the local news and never getting to go to one of my kids' ball games was not going to work for me. So I got out of TV. With that though, I was blessed to be pretty good at TV. I was able to get a part-time job and keep my passion. I'm now a photographer sidelines for a subsector media member to the University of Kentucky, where my photos get purchased every game. So I sit on the floor for every single home basketball and home football game. So I take pictures, and then when the TV station needs somebody to fill in, they'll call me and ask me for one game. Can I do sidelines, like interview the coach during the timeouts and that kind of stuff? So I do that. And what I did was I used to post a graphic. I'll be like, Kentucky wins. Well, they already know Kentucky wins. And I throw one of my pictures on it, right? But like just like you guys just posted. But then I switched to this. Hey guys, I just got out of the locker room, and there's a different vibe than there was 3 weeks ago. They were losing every game. They just won today by 15. I really think it's because Jacob Toppin has stepped up as the leader in this locker room. When they were celebrating afterwards, he was the one that led the team huddle, and 2 weeks ago, he was the first one to the locker. Maybe that's changed everything for this team. Then I'm getting 35, 40 texts from everybody. Be like, man, I'm glad Jacob did that. We needed that win today. You know what I'm saying? Just positioning myself to the audience and where they're at. And so really, like, going back to say this, to say that, yes, I think it's the audience. I actually, as weird as this is, what do you guys think because you can look at it, my most viewed audience is on Facebook, age group and gender?
50-year-old realtors.
I have
Man.
my average is actually 55 to 60-year-old females. Is 47% of my audience.
It's the hair, man.
You got good hair. You got good hair as well. I don't know why that is, but what have I started doing? Leaning into content that 54 to 64-year-old females like, and which is, hey, this is what happened on the floor at Kentucky. Like, Jacob Toppin's a sweet kid. Like, I actually just started a podcast series where I go in highly successful people in Central Kentucky. I actually talk to them about the journey that got them there, opposed to the job, right? And my 68-year-old grandmother texted me the other day and was like, "Oh my gosh, that Nick Mangione, baseball coach at UK, is just so sweet in that video with you." Right? But my buddies didn't watch it. They don't care what it took for Nick Mangione to get there. But my audience is 50 to 60 something year old women.
Which is what the biggest population of realtors.
That is right. But does that make sense? But then also I do attract a lot of younger males. Because I've been successful early in my career. I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed. It's been an honor. But also they also love the Cavs, and I kind of try to find ways to hit both. But like, I know my audience. Does that make sense? I know who I'm speaking towards, and that 60-year-old woman who just sees him as a sweet kid but doesn't like his haircut connects with him now at a higher level, because me and him went and did a video of us playing golf, opposed to me after the game being like, "Why did you shoot 37% from the field?" Like, who cares? He shot 37% from the field because he missed 70% of shots. Like, that's why he shot. Like, so I kind of switched it up and found my audience. Yes, ma'am.
So how did you figure out your audience? Because you didn't wake up and say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna do this.
Yes,
It
a
just-
lot
it went
of
through so much. Oh.
a lot of trial and error. This worked, this didn't. This worked, this didn't. And really, every class and room I was in, I asked a lot of questions and tried to figure out, and who are you best positioned to serve? The person you once were, right? And now, have I ever been a 60-year-old female? No.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm not there yet. But I am best positioned to serve someone who loves UK sports and loves to grow business, right? And then I just kept trying stuff until I figured out what worked, and I knew the numbers. And I'll talk about that in just a second, but we figured out the numbers. Okay, so specific, and I'll show you this. Specific is memorable, broad is invisible. Specific is memorable, broad is invisible. Okay, we're going to talk about that. How do we build our avatar? Name a real person. Think of a person in your mind. Where do they live? Where do they gather? What do they fear? And what are they proud of? If you can answer those 4 questions, you really know who they are. And a lot of people ask me where they gather. Sometimes as real estate agents, we get caught in the real estate bubble and be like, I love that 3-bed, 2-bath on a half an acre. right? But let me tell you something. My brother is not buying a house if it's not within walking distance to somewhere he can go watch the Reds. You gotta know the area, right? Me, I live on a 40-acre farm, there's nothing around me, but I looked at two 40-acre farms when I went to buy one. A half a mile from my house is a winery. The other one I looked at, even though it was much cheaper and much flatter, there was nothing within 9 miles of that place. I'm 12 minutes from the interstate, which is great to have a 40-acre farm. But 3 minutes from my house, a golf cart ride, there's a humongous winery. Well, they just put a restaurant in that winery. My wife is allergic to gluten and they serve gluten-free pizza. So if she doesn't feel like cooking that night, I'm a golf cart ride to get her gluten-free pizza. When my agent and me walked on that farm, because I don't sell real estate, she said, I just wanted you to know I looked before they came. This winery does serve gluten-free pizza. Could I have found that out myself? Probably, but would I have? I would have never thought that a winery would have had gluten-free pizza. And I know that sounds crazy, but there was no chance my wife was picking the other farm when she said that. Do you know what I'm saying? My wife cooks, makes homemade jam, homemade butter, homemade bread. She's like the typical wife that lives on a 40-acre farm. But there's nights when our kid has been screaming and she doesn't feel like cooking, and instead of going all the way to town, she rides her golf cart to that winery and picks up pizza. My agent, knowing me and knowing her avatar, my agent only helps people who do investments and large purchases because she's at the point in her career that's all she needs to do, and she's the one that got me into the business. But knowing where they gathered was actually a super important part of that sale for her. Does that make sense? Like, she went to the depths of knowing that winery served gluten-free pizza before we pulled out there, and that actually, I liked that farm better personally. It's 3 minutes from my grandparents' house, and they're young enough they can help with the kid. But she liked the other farm better. Till she figured out, as weird as that is, about that one pizza place that's a golf cart right away from her house in the middle of BFE. And what do they fear? Like, why would they not want to live in this area? How can you debunk those things? And then what are they proud of? That's just kind of, you got to self-discover on that. I want you guys to write this down for social media. Views equal validity. Like, you're getting your views on your social media. But engagement equals trust. If you're getting them to like, comment, and share, they really trust you or your content. But views are good because if you're trying to gain validity, that's good, but make sure you're targeting the right audience. I would rather have 10 views to the right person than I would be that real estate agent that had 1 million views to the wrong person. Sometimes we get caught up in wanting to be an influencer, but how are you going to be liked, known, and trusted by the right person? Views matter, comments matter, but if none of it counts if it misses your avatar. A funny video is seen by other agents, but it's really just noise, and it might even be pushing one away, like we talked about earlier. Okay, personally on my social media, here's what I post. I've met with. Does anybody go to Rebel? Tyler Mount.
Yep.
Did you guys
Yep,
listen to
he
Tyler?
was in Columbus this year.
Yeah, Tyler Mount. That's my marketing and branding coach. He coaches me weekly on how to market and brand myself. I have a weekly Zoom call with him. And this is what he says he's seen, and this is what has worked phenomenally for me. What are you posting on your page? You're posting about your personal life so that people can connect with you. I'm not saying you got to leave here today and tell your wife, hey, we're now posting our kids on social media and we have it in 5 years. Like, I'm not gonna ruin your marriage, but something to where they can connect with you. If it's your hobby, if it's your interest, whatever it is, find a way for someone to connect with you. Okay? You are positioned, who you are positioned, not just like tell them who you are. Tell them who Dayla is. Don't tell them, here's my family. They may not know who your family is. The better positioning there is, we've been working, grinding, growing this business. It was a blessing to be able to go to the beach with my family this week and my kids. It was a blast. It's much better than, hey, here's my family. You get what I'm saying? We're all about positioning, but show them who you are. That's how you fill that trust bucket. The next bucket you're going to want to fill is that local bucket. Show them on social media you know the area. You become the guide to the community. Let them come to your account to figure out what's going on this weekend. Let them come to your account to figure out if they do move to the area where they're eating chicken wings. Let them come to your account to figure out how well the area is tested at the public school systems. Let them come to your area. I'm not saying you steer, because we have fair housing, but I'm saying become the local expert. This is how you're gonna grow your reach. Is showing them that you don't just care about them buying and sell a house, but you care about the area that you're in. Okay. Then the most important one, and you all's favorite, is the expert bucket. This is where you're gonna talk about real estate. I personally, and there may be some questions about this. I personally think that you should build a system. This is where I want you guys to make sure you get. Build a system around your listings, open houses, buy and solds, whatever. Your real estate accomplishments or marketing a home. Just do the same thing every single time for those, and then build your content calendar around this stuff. Because now you can post whenever and as much as you want, and it, like, social media doesn't care if you post 10 times in a day. It really, doesn't matter like it used to. But you can post 10, 1, whatever, just be consistent. But I actually recommend build yourself a plan and a content calendar around this. And then when the listings come, the open houses come, then you market those. Does that make sense? In the same way that you want to market those. You don't sit around. I have one agent that sits around when she's got a ton of listings, she's got the best social media, and when she doesn't post for like 6 weeks. Don't let your content calendar be contingent on the validity of your business. But I'm not saying you go today and never post another listing video. Those videos are amazing. And it fills this bucket. But I build my content calendar around these buckets, and then when I get an agent, I'm posting a selfie with them saying how glad I am they joined my brokerage, whatever. But for you guys, I have one agent who crushes it on social media, and she fills each one of these buckets. And then when she gets a listing, she does a video and picture. She posts both of those. When she has an open house, she does a selfie video talking about how awesome the house is. When she does it just sold, she actually has a person that she takes a picture with and tells a story. Those things happen every single time, and they're built with her admin in her systems of marketing. But her content calendar is built around this, and that other stuff is just cherry on top, extra content. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay, this has actually changed recently. When I first started teaching this class, and I just forgot to change the slides. 80-20 video for Instagram specifically. For TikTok, you probably still need to be living in 80 to 90% video. But Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company, so their models are the same. You need to actually probably be 60-40 video. They really are starting to prioritize carousels, and what a carousel is multiple images on the same post. Like you can swipe and see multiple images.
Wait, do they like that or not?
They do.
They do. TikTok really likes that. I
Yeah.
think, too,
Yeah, I'm not as sure. I haven't researched what their CEO is saying right now, but I know for a fact that 80-20 video was really what they were recommending a few years ago. And Adam Morzeri, the guy who is the CEO of Instagram, said like, hey, at least 40% of the time you need to be doing what we call carousels. And used to, he was like, only do it when you're trying to sell something. They really started upping that, but they still want you to be 60-40, 50-50 video. But like used to, it was, like I said, when I first started teaching this class, it was 80-20 video. They were like every 1 in 5 is not a video. Does that make sense? I think people kind of got tired of reels. If I'm being honest, they still are addicted to them, but they just aren't as where they used to be.
I want to read now.
Huh?
They give us too many reels. Now I want to read.
Now I want to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll switch. I mean, in the next 2 years, it's probably going to be 80-90% carousels, right?
Yeah.
But, okay. Also, make sure you're posting on your story every day at least.
Sorry, 80-20, that means 20% is video.
80% is video.
Like,
Yeah. And like I said, that's kind of shifting right now. We're seeing more, maybe 60% video,
okay,
but still video. The more video, the better. One story at least a day on your story. I do 5 times a day, but I've also been doing content for 6 years, and it's not very hard for me. Also, like I said, hashtags work on TikTok. I was going to mention that when she said that, but like you don't really need hashtags on Instagram or Facebook anymore. They have such a strong AI that they can do it. And I talked about this listings on a separate track. Also, where do most people die on social media? They don't post consistently, or they do this. How many have met these people that post on it for like 2 weeks? And then they're like, one of two things, they either get some business or they don't. And they quit because, oh, I'm putting too much effort into this. Or, oh, I got some business and I got too busy, right? Consistency wins. Because what you're gonna see is if not, you're just gonna just die off if you don't get consistent. The killer the killer that we see a lot of times is a daily decision of what to post. Consistency is a systems problem, not a willpower problem. I personally believe that in everything that we do, but especially in social media. Especially in social media. I actually have something I'm gonna do the last.
So Dylan, when you post, do you post to Instagram and then have it automatically go to Facebook?
I do because it's easier. And then I generally, personally, I'm not to the point where I'm doing things different yet. And it is even as big as I do it, so I download it and then I'll post it to Twitter and then I'll post it to TikTok too. I just post it all the
I
same
heard
place.
recently too that agents will get more traction if they post on their personal page and tag their business page. Don't
Yeah, that's
post on
kinda what
their
I-
business page.
People want to connect with the person. Think about it. How many friends do you have on your personal page? We're talking about building a personal brand. How many followers do you have on your personal page versus how many that you have on your business page? And followers don't matter as much, but you're just way more likely to reach people if you're posted on your personal page. They want to connect with the person nowadays instead of like what they look at as like a corporate business. It just automatically makes them think you're selling. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about posting that's more real estate focused content on your business page and sharing that to your personal page while posting all the other personal stuff on your personal?
Let me ask you this and you may have an answer. Why wouldn't you just want to post it all on your personal page? And you may have an answer for that. What would be your thought on that?
My answer would be tracking.
Tracking?
That you can get for your professional dash.
Personally, I think you're building an all-encompassing brand. And people don't really go to pages anymore and say, oh, I want to see real estate. They kind of want to follow along with the person. And I think even if you're posting like your family or your local expert bucket, you're building validity to connect with that person to make them want to buy or sell with you, would be my perspective. You can do it the other way, but I've just seen people like, I think of my OP, she's got, she gets millions of views a month. And she just posts as Dana Gentry. She doesn't really say, well, here's Dana Gentry's real estate stuff. Here's Dana Gentry with her family at the beach. Here's her going to her kids' tennis games. It's actually just all encompassing and you buy into the whole idea of her brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, how do you measure them?
I
mean.
look at all encompassing. Like I go to the dashboard and I just look and say, hey, I got this many views and this many comments. And that's great. I'm building validity with those people. And then if I want to know about a specific post, I'll go look at those specific posts and hit view insights for those specific real estate posts if I want to see that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess maybe I haven't found it on the personal side, so maybe I can just.
Yeah, and you can switch it over to like you to be a content creator, your personal page to where it actually gives you those insights.
Okay.
That's what you're asking. Sorry, I was misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, any other questions?
For one story every day, you mean you post it on Instagram or your LinkedIn or your
Except for LinkedIn,
Google?
I'm just posting it on everything, really, like just the story feature. That goes specifically to your followers, so I'm making sure a few times a day I'm posting on that.
Just quickly, and the listings on it, you're just.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I would build a strong system around the way I market listings and just stick to that. Whatever that is, video, pictures, whatever you like. But I would build my content calendar as if I never had another listing ever. And then when I get them, they're just additional content.
So personally, I don't have any social media, so this is a whole brand new thing for me.
Perfect. You get a really good chance to just niche down.
Kind of, pretty much exactly. So I don't really understand. So for me personally, I'm trying to learn everything from, ground zero. Would you literally copy and paste, put on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram the same exact thing?
Starting out, yes.
Okay.
I'm 6 years in and I personally average over 5 to 6 million views per month on my social media pages. I average over 2 million a month on Facebook and I average over 60,000 a month on TikTok. Like we over 5 million last month on X. And I literally can just keep posting the same thing on everywhere.
Okay, cool.
You
So
get
then copy.
And now I'm to the point where I can probably start to switch that up to what works specific to that, but I'm 5 or 6 years in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
It works.
It works.
Why
Yes, it does.
You take, correct me if I'm wrong, you can take the same post and ask ChatGPT or whatever AI you use tell her
Yeah.
that I want it on this specific platform. And they will reword it in a way that
I like that.
will
Yeah.
serve.
Here's a real quick before we leave today. I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with some value. Here's what I'm gonna say. I live by this model, the give, ask model, right? I'm giving value 75% of the time before I ask somebody to buy something from me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that guy from the boat, I watched 4 videos before he asked me to buy something. And then he asked me to buy something in a way that I was like, didn't even realize he asked me to buy that. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say that, I'm not talking about, don't talk about real estate, but you can give a really cool market update. You can give a really cool story of something. Like before I'm like, hey, come buy or sell. Does that make sense? Yeah, and before I go to this last thing, I want to show you guys before you leave. What's up? No, ask me, you got it.
It was just relative to that story, like, did he say he bought the wood from Lowe's? So like.
He bought the tool from Lowe's, and it's their specific brand, and it was their cheaper brand.
He never mentioned where he got the
Earlier.
lumber.
No.
He never said, oh, I picked up the lumber.
Now, I know some people that do that, and it's quick little jabs, and it's super subtle, and that works. But like, if I was gonna do real estate, and it's like doing a video in front of a house and a market update, it's like, oh, I did help that person buy that house inconspicuously, like that could, yeah. I do get what you're saying, that you get it.
Dylan, I want to capitalize on something you've already said. And I struggle with this too, one of the things is the content, doing the frequency, the consistency, like you said, but he said, I don't know if you picked up on it. He does reels all the time, just saves them to his phone, and then when he gets a chance to go post them, he posts them. I was listening to another call for somebody else who's getting a lot of business, real estate, all from social media as well. And that's what she said. She says, everywhere I go, she goes, it only takes 30 seconds. She said, I go to they went to one of the examples, she says, what's the 4th of July parade? I'm spending time with my family, so that's my day. But I picked up the phone and said, and this is why people live in Upper Arlington. And then she did a little video of the parade and her and her family sitting there. With 30 seconds, that's all it was. And it was a hook to say, that's why you want to come.
I do everywhere I go eat, I do a 30-second reel on why I'm eating there. And it's turned into a thing on social media. So I walk in Mount Sterling to go get a little small town outside of Lexington the other day. Taking 3 agents to lunch. And the girl at the counter goes, hey, Mom, the review guy from TikTok is here. What? I don't even post that much on TikTok. And she said, she was like, hey, sir, if you don't mind to do a video while you're here, we'll give you guys your food for free.
Nice. Wow.
So, okay, well, what do you want me to order? Like, tell me what to order. So she tells me, you should try the cherry cola barbecued wings. She said, I also know that wings are your favorite food. I was like, you do know that wings are my favorite food. Because I talked about it a lot. Like, give me a bone-in chicken wing over anything. And if you're telling me a boneless chicken wing is it's a good food, but that's a chicken nugget covered in sauce. That is not a wing. If you tell me to go somewhere they've got good wings, I'm expecting to have really good bone-in wings. Now, if you say, hey, I love boneless chicken nuggets and they have really good sauce, they cover them in there, I'll go eat it. And it's probably gonna be good, but that ain't a chicken wing. And so I do the video, it gets 80,000 views. I don't even have 80,000 followers. Then the person calls me later. It's like, hey, next week, if you want to come back, we'll do a $100 gift card giveaway on your social media because this video works so much. And it all started with anytime me and my wife would go eat, all 3 of them, we would just go, hey guys, this is it, the whole video. Hey, me and my wife are at Char here in Lexington, Saturday mornings. It's a coffee shop. The rest of the week it's an Italian place. I personally just got the chicken Alfredo. My wife got the chicken parm. If you're looking for somewhere to eat in downtown Lexington, I suggest you come try this local business. When I go to post on Instagram, I hit the CC, post captions button, so captions start popping across the screen and hit post.
Wait, say that again.
When I go to Instagram, I just hit the CC button, close captions. That means it's just gonna pop up across the screen. And then I just hit post, and then I'm done. No big editing, no nothing. Really quick, guys, and then I'll take some more questions. Here's what I've done. The first hour of this class, I hope that I've given you some value.
Yes.
I've talked about lead with value first, correct? What I have done is I hope to give you an hour of value. The next 5 minutes, I'm going to try to sell you a product. because I feel like I've earned that right after giving you an hour. If nobody in this room buys that product, I'm 100% good with that. Just like your social media. If they don't buy from you, still be okay with giving the value because it'll eventually come back to you. So I say that to say this, think about your social media. I don't care if you buy this product or not, but I'm doing this to even give you a further example of your social media. If I would have walked in here and talked to you for an hour about the product I'm about to try to sell you, none of you would have wanted to buy it, and every single person would have left this room. Slowly, a couple of you would have stayed because you love daylight. But you would have slowly slipped out the back if I just walked in here and been like, guys, I've developed this coaching community that is cheap, that's affordable, and that's what I did for the first hour. But I've given you value for an hour, so you're gonna be willing to sit here and listen for 3 minutes and me tell you about the product I've built, right? Why is your social media any different that they're wanting it to feel like a human interaction in today's social media? Give value, then ask them to buy. Because right now they see you as a billboard. And I even wanted to say that so that you would see, and I'm just an upfront person, like you guys have been to those keynotes and they're like, all right, now scan this and I'm gonna give you this for free, but really once you get in there, it's gonna cost money. Like, I'm straight up. We built something that me and my wife have built something we think makes social media super easy for real estate agents and local business owners. And I'm gonna tell you about that really quick. If you have your phones or computers, don't go try to sign in or create an account. Just go to the localpost.app. Give you a second to get there. It's called the localpost.app. What this is me and my wife have built a community for people that teaches them what to post on their personal social media if they're trying to build a local brand in a specific area. What we give with this community is 3 things. A members only Facebook group where we share constant ideas, Canva templates, and other things that real estate agents and other people can use. The second thing we did, you get a bi-weekly group coaching call with me. And they all get recorded and put on a listed YouTube channel for only people in our community. They get to watch me for an hour talk about social media every week where we're talking about the upcoming tactics, changes, things, and it's not even my agents get it, it's only the people within the community. And the third and biggest thing is you get a web app called the Local Post where you onboard, and one app, it takes you an hour to onboard. It asks you every single thing it could ever possibly ask you, not private information, but every single thing that it could possibly ever ask you. And then what it does is you tell it how many days a week you want to post, and it tells you exactly what to post every single day. And every single day I have 151 AI agents that run in the background going and figuring out what works best. It's not the viral trends, it's specific to your personal goals, wants, and desires. What this is it will also give you a place to post. It'll also let you post to all social medias from the app, so you don't have to leave the app. It also will give you your analytics from all your social medias combined. It'll tell you the avatar like a dashboard would on Facebook of where you're reaching. And also we have content creators that post every single day in a content library talking about the latest trends in social media. What this cost is, I'll just be honest, I pay over $1,500 a month for my personal social media coach. But just to shoot you straight, I've got to the point creating content, I make way more than that off of social media. So, and he helped me get there. Me and my wife are this community where you get this app. There's nothing like this app right now. I know people do copying contracts and it just gives you Canva templates. This tells you specifically, it will tell you, and I'll show you here in a second. It'll tell you, hey, you haven't posted about your kids in a while and you said that was important to you. Maybe post about your son's baseball game recently. And it'll tell, so here's the results. People who use our app, their views go up on average 178%. We have 37 people currently in the community. We just launched it a few months ago. 178%. They on average go up 113% on likes, shares, and comments. It also gives them the easy button for the 2 things we talked about. What do I post and the consistency problem. How many ever days a week you say you're going to post? It gives you content for that many days. If you look right here, this actually is a gym owner. When she came onto her app, 733 views, 1,000, 400, 409, 375, 265, 382, 330, 278. Here's her most recent post. And this, she just, like, so she went on the app and it said, you need to make a reel today, here's your script, and here's what the caption needs to be. 13.8 thousand, 1,700, 1,600, 4,000, 6,000, 2,000, 4,000, 297, 2,300, and like, it even has a feature, if you want to turn it on, that every Monday it'll ask you what you're doing this week in your life, and it'll build your content calendar around your life. If you want to do that, you don't have to do that, but the people who really like the app ask us to add that. Like, for instance, I said it's my wife's birthday this week, and I would have been like, hey, happy birthday, Lauren. But in there, I said my proudest thing in his life, that I have a wife that's the best mother in the world, and who I love going and golfing with. And like my birthday post was like, hey, post a picture on the first slide of y'all's wedding day, the second slide of you holding your kid, the third slide of you guys playing golf, the fourth slide of you guys doing something in real estate together, and the fifth slide, whatever you're most accomplished, proud of. And then the caption was, she's not just a golfer, she's not just a mother, not just a Christian, but she's the best wife in the world. Happy birthday. See the difference in that? The app actually told me to do that, opposed to, I'd have probably just did like a selfie of me, her, and my son, and then happy birthday, Lauren, I love you. Right? And that's because I filled out the monthly thing, but the weekly thing, but you don't have to do that. It just says, hey, I'm going out to eat Thursday night. They'll be like, okay, where are you going to eat at? You fill it, and it'll say, here's word for word what I would say about that place. Here's the caption. Then you look here, this is a real estate agent. This is Kendria. What Kendria did, 500, 157, 224, 468, 477, 177, 162, 56, 131. Here's her first 9 posts that she did with us. 12,600 views. She actually skipped the app that day and did her own thing and got 600. I'm kind of glad she did that. It really even helps prove my point even more. 1.4 thousand, 4,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 1,000, all because she was being positioned. And lastly, here's how it works. If you look right here, this is like telling her today she's going to do a reel that's going to position her to be an expert. Actually, what's going on with buying or selling? Here's some of the content calendar things that like we put in there that you can go read at any time, like the 5 things you need to know about your personal brand. Here, you don't need to go viral. You actually just need to reach your target audience. And these are all articles that we've written that you can list and then just go put in your favorite AI platform and it'll build you a plan around whatever article. And we write 2 articles a day. And then like, if you look here, this person was up 12% this month. They got 93,000 views, 87, like they're up 2.1, but this is their 4th month in. They were one of my beta testers. And then if you look here, it actually lets you just get copy caption and you can go paste it. Like, you don't have to, like, we built a feature to where, like, if you're going to do a carousel, I'll tell you this, it'll like say, put these 7 pictures and put this on top of each picture. Like, it'll tell you word for word. So, all right, guys, that's enough about something I'm selling. I don't want to be the person that sells the whole time.
So how did this translate into having better production, more clients, more people to engage with?
Yeah, so this person right here,
Yeah.
this person right here has an intake form that you fill out when you do hers, Kendria. And she took 6 listings from social media in the last 2 months. Of people, when they listed with her, said they figured out about her on social media. I'm not being rude to her, but when she was getting 56 views and it was just a picture of her reading a book, I bet that number was 0. This person, this gym owner, she's went on average of getting 8 new clients a month in the last 3 months since she joined our community. Because just being honest, she 13, 17, 16, 44, you know what I mean? Like, she's just seeing hundreds of thousands of more people see her stuff. And at $200 a month, and also if you pay once and one portion, my wife and I give 2 months for free. So if it's $2,000 a year, if they get 1 listing from it, it's 4 to 5x the money. We've made it extremely affordable. Like I said, I pay over $1,500 a month for my personal coach. I'm not doing 1-to-1, but you do get a group coaching call and this app. And I wish I had this app back when I was just paying him. He was just talking to me for an hour every week. Okay, and if you guys ever need me for anything, I'm an open book. I know there's agents that also travel and teach on AI. One of my best friends, Lauren Lucas, she probably gets tired of me texting her saying, hey, what do you think about this? Been able to help grow real estate brands for 2.5 years now on social media. You can go sign up at the local post for our community. You don't have to, but I really do think it gives you the easy button. Also, You can call me or email me at any time. I'm an open book, even if you're not a member of our community. Text me and say, hey, what do you think about this post? I'll text you back. If I don't, my wife will see it on my Apple account. She'll text you back. Because she's just as good at it as I am, probably better. Awesome, guys. Sorry I took up so much of your time today. I hope you enjoyed it. Do we have any questions before you guys bounce today? I'll answer anything, not just about the community, anything.
How much of your time a day do you expect yourself to sit to do all this job? And
This is not a sales pitch for the app. Before the app, I was spending about an hour.
uh,
Now I spend like 3 minutes because it just says, hey, record a 45-second video about this. And I just record it and then I hit post from the app. And that's not a sale, but before I was spending about an hour because I would look, I would edit, I would go ask ChatGPT for a comment, I would ask this for a caption. I would scroll to see what's going viral right now. So I used to spend about an hour. Now I spend about 3 to 5 minutes. Another cheat code is if you guys use the Edits app to edit your videos, that's owned by Instagram. And you can go over to the little play button on the left and it'll give you all the current things that are trending. And you can actually just hit templates and then just put in your pictures and videos that match the music. So that's a little cheat code that I use a lot still to this day when I want to do a viral TikTok. But honestly, like today, I put in my week that I was coming here today. So I'm gonna take a picture selfie with a few of you guys afterwards, and my app started giving me the caption. But I'm not saying that to sell, but I used to before not my app, but any system you build is gonna spend time around it. Social media is so new in theory in the grand scheme of things. People oftentimes don't build a system around it. They just don't. But it needs to be like anything in your business. It needs a system around it. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? I'll answer anything. If not, I'll be around for a few minutes before me and Dayla go get lunch. I'll answer any question I can. Like I said, I would, I love getting to connect with you guys. It's a blast.
questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So how much of this you can outsource, have somebody do it for you, and how much do you, it has to be you? I know the video has to be you, of course,
Yeah, so
but
what our person who's winning at the highest level in our market center, so they don't overthink it. What she's doing is this: before the app, she built a system so that I'm not just sounding like I'm selling, but now she truly just uses the app, and her admin goes on there and goes, okay, I'm supposed to post this today. Her admin will text her and say, I need 5 pictures of your family. And then she'll put the little overlays on them and for the carousel, or she'll say, I need you to record a 30-second video of why you love downtown Columbus and send it to me and I'll edit it. So I do think if you can provide some guide rails to someone, they can really do it. But if you're just wanting to outsource something just completely and not have any interaction to it, you're probably going to look like everybody else and not win at a very high level. But what I would do if I had somebody, even if it was a young kid or something, I would, even if it's not my app, I would build a system around it to where you could say, hey, go post this. Even if it's with Claude, even if it was ChatGPT, whatever it is. I will say, if you go to ChatGPT and say, make me a 30-day content calendar, it's going to come up with the most generic stuff. You have to be able to prompt it really, 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 really well if you want to do that. That's kind of why I created this, is because I want to take the hard button out of it, but the easy button. But if you're going to do it through that, completely works. I did it for years. But I would just say, give somebody guide rails if you're going to do it. You get what I'm saying? I don't think you can just say, hey, go do my social media and win at a high level anymore, because people want to say it's human interaction. Yeah,
You too.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're in it together.
I'm 6 years in and I haven't outsourced it yet.
I mean, that you're telling me that it takes you 1 hour without the app, it takes me a few hours, and probably I will quit and then I go back to my work.
Yeah,
So it's just.
don't overthink
It
it.
depends.
More
on-
authentic is better.
Yeah,
Even if,
yeah.
yeah,
It's not that much work. I think people lack consistency, more so not because of the effort of it, but because they don't see results immediately, and like.
That's why they quit.
Gold, this sales training, and they were talking about it, and you know, but if you're leading with value and you're being real and you're being yourself and you're targeting other people that know you and like you and trust you, they're gonna appreciate that and they're gonna interact with it. Rather than if you're being salesy and it just looks like you're another real estate agent trying to sell something, because we all do it. I do that. I post about real estate, nobody even comments on it, and then I can. You know what I mean? It's not real. People are sick of seeing fake stuff. It's also fake. Everything's so fake on there.
Yeah,
That if you're real, it's like, oh, wow, that's abnormal.
100%, and that's why when somebody started my app a week ago, and they're like, oh my gosh, an hour to fill out these questionnaires. I was like, well, just fill out the first 3 questions, and it's gonna give you the same thing everybody else got. But if you tell it like, I like this, I don't like that, this is what I hear, these are the objections I hear. Like if you, the more you give anything in this society, it's gonna prompt you better. So like you said, just be as real as possible.
Oh, and where I was going with that, right, and people are scared they're gonna be judged or whatnot if they're real, so they can put the real estate thing out, and it's like, well, that's my job, you know, it doesn't matter, it's not about me personally. But then when you realize when you put the stuff out there that is real, people appreciate that you're being real, and you get more interactions than when you're being.
Here's what I'll say on my way out.
I'm sorry, when they had us do it as an
Yeah.
experiment, we all did it.
That's awesome.
And people interacted with everyone, so they don't interact when you just post. So we we were all nervous about doing it, we all had to go outside and do
You did
something
bold?
bold, and it was called, yeah, and then, and it worked out for everybody, and we were all nervous about doing it, and it was fine.
Here's what I'll say about that. When I helped them build that for Bold, I was in that
You
room.
works with bold?
Well, I didn't help with all the Bold. I helped with the social media portion.
Okay.
And I told them, I said, just tell them to post something. Like, don't overthink it. Just tell them to post something. Because here's what I'm gonna say. You look like what you look like and you sound like what you sound like. Don't worry about it. Let me ask you this. If you're out on a run and your hair isn't done and your makeup's not done and somebody calls you and says, I've got 5,000 people wanting to sit in a room and listen to you talk for 45 seconds about your business. You're gonna go immediately. You have to think about social media like that when you look down there, and yeah, these numbers that these people right here had. 1,000 views doesn't look like much, right? But when was the last time you got to sit in a room with 1,000 people and tell them about your real estate business? Like, I don't care what I look like. I'll say it in the video being funny, say, guys, most of the time you guys get me with my hair back and everything, but like right now I got a hat on and a tank top because I just left the gym, but this idea hit me and I gotta tell you about it. But I mean, I can't look like I just got out of bed every single post, but like, if I do, like, they don't care.
It'll be your brand.
Yeah, it like the other day I was driving down the road and I'm blessed to drive a Tesla, so it drives for me. So I threw my phone up on my hook and I just let it record me while I sit there and talk. Yeah, so, all right, guys, like I said, don't want to take too much of your time today. But I'm gonna be hanging around. Anybody wants to ask any questions? I'd love to talk to you, and thank you guys so much for giving me part of your time. Make sure you take my phone number down, text me any question you ever have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being interactive. It started.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, it's like, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, you have a.
Yeah. So. What? It's really. So I don't know. You never. Good people, you know, just like everybody. Start with that. You know, I post like I've talked about. You know, things that here, like. Also, yeah, so it's like on that side. Yeah, it's very, you know, getting mastered. I'm an open book. I always have. Text me. I'll help you in that way that I can. Like I said, I don't see it. My wife is signed in. This is also our business phone anymore because we've grown so much. But like, well, the thing back to you, just like, they get another option. Dylan, nice to meet you. Really? That's the next thing. It was fun. This is my. I'm not social media. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. See you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so it's now, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably, if that company does, it'll tell you why. Once you click that, if you don't sign in, it'll tell you why. It'll take action, and you can file a complaint with Meta. Actually, you wanna know something that's horrible? I was averaging maybe $5,000 a month from Meta. They were paying me to content create because it was averaging, 4 or 5 million views a month. And they got a new monetization system, and their system had a glitch, and it hasn't paid me in 6 months, and I can't get hold of it. I call them all the time. Yeah, and that's the kind of stage I'm making. I made $60,000 off of it last year.
Yeah, she's paid.
They pay me to post, they used to, they don't now. It's like every month it'll give me my approximated earnings. And then at the end, it just goes to zero. That started in January when they got the new interface. And it stinks. I hate it. Like that was a big chunk of change.
To this tonight, but the first time,
Yeah.
it's well.
It's well worth it. Yeah.
5 days, $65.
We've never even, our app, we've never posted on social media. I've been like trying to build validity first, of like, hey, I was training in Columbus today, hey, and like, so people can see some validity. But our first post, we've already allotted a couple $100 to like, it's about boost. Yeah, and of course you might get caught in my funnel, that's what they want you to do. Yeah, yeah. So I would do it every now and again. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is my easiest way. Just doing posts instead of videos because I have to.
I know, I was doing that, and yes, I had to, I know that, they were done, yeah.
Yeah.
I love myself because too complicated for me and.
Yes. Here's what I would say. It looks good, but I would say it's gonna probably not gain a ton of following.
I'm not getting any more.
Yeah, you probably won't. And that's not me being trying to be rude, it's just me trying to say, that's not what works now. If you don't know how to edit, that's fine. Just get your phone off, and if it's not edited, that's better. I mean, like, it's better than nothing, you get what I'm saying? Video, lead with video, finish off with carousel.
Yeah.
Yeah, $200 a month, if you pay up front, it's $2,000 for the email.
I mean, the trading.
I do, once every week, it's
Everybody enjoyed how to there.
on Wednesday, and then if you can't be there, we record it, and then we email it to you.
That's not a big deal to us.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll see.
Everything is done personally. I block off my 2 o'clock on Wednesdays every week, and then if I can't do it, my wife does it, or Dana does it, she fills in sometimes, she fills in sometimes too.
But you're not, it's like Eastern time.
Eastern time, yeah, yeah, so I'm setting time, so, hi sir, how are you doing today? Sorry about your dog, we'll be praying for you. Yes, sir, I know, I mean, like I said, it's like a kid, right? Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Did you enjoy the training today? Yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Still, a bit of trying to water through.
Very close. Well, my big goal is to tell people like it's almost better than just like. Law. I call it pressure, you want to look at me. Used to, now he's just like, well. Grab his phone and be like, and my wife been out in the car today and look at the habit. I'm like, you don't like that stuff now, they actually want less professional, so like. Go get 60,000 views on cash. You know what I mean? I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Sounds great seeing you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys done this picture? Yeah.
Gonna do it in front of that Greater Columbus sign?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
Be the first pub.
Yeah.
It's a carousel.
Yeah.
You know, just one ones for each, and then I'm gonna do a group.
Yeah, see.
Individual picture.
Yeah, I'll get in, squeeze in if you're not in. Okay, is that everybody? I didn't. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
I was like, I don't know.
Hey, guys.
I was like, mine's telling me. Yeah. Yes,
My phones on my social
Yeah,
media.
use whatever you want, man. I'm an open book.
Awesome, thank you. I'm very grateful. You are outstanding. You're very impressive, for your age as well.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're thinking about starting. I talked to it, So my niche is that maybe and PA. So it's my partner, Terry, and I also in it. But then I also print Apple and it's in the area, which is why yesterday we created a video. Now we're like.
I'm getting old, but. First time in my life. First time in my life, I'm gonna, I start with a different, I'll get on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so.
Well, if you're, are you give the investments, when I'm gonna sort of. I'm gonna say close, but I'm still gonna, but just in case, I'm the person who's already on it. Hey, they're okay, they can get this.
It is like, so. The big there.
They're not. Who was that?
Like, you know, I mean, it's like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People go.
You tell me where I probably.